So will it tell me how many people are on? One. Can you tell? Oh.
I can't tell.
Come on in, come on in. I'm gonna wait a little while longer. Come in, introduce yourself when you come in the room. Anybody else got their mocktails? I got mine. Hey, Latoya. Thank you for joining. Hey, Nikki. I think I'm getting feedback from my tablet. Let's see. I'm going to give it about 3 more minutes to give a few more people time to come in. I'll get your mocktails. Those of you that know me know I hate being the center of attention. I hate being on video. So I don't know who thought this was a great idea. 2 more minutes. right, we're going to go ahead and get started, and hopefully others will join us soon. For those of you that know me, you know my name is Sheleta Renee. For those of you that do not know me, I'm still Sheleta Renee. I am the owner and creator of Sheleta Renee with Love, all things stationery. And I absolutely love what I do. The topic that we are having tonight actually brought me to the reason that I started doing journals and journaling. We're doing dealing with narcissists. I first want to welcome you to Couch Convos and Cocktails. This is a place that we deal with real issues. We have fun. We let it all out. We may cry. We may laugh. Whatever the case is, we're going to do it from sister to sister. We have a whole sisterhood here, and we're just going to have fun and release. Again, our topic for tonight is dealing with narcissists and narcissistic behavior. In 2024, I never thought that so many people would be dealing with narcissists and narcissistic behavior, whether it's in a relationship, whether it's in their job, professional, just anything. A lot of people think that you only have to deal with narcissists in relationships. And I just want to kind of break the barrier on that tonight and just kind of give you an overview of you're going to deal with narcissists a little bit everywhere in life. It seems to be the norm this day and time. Not sure if a lot of people know what narcissists are. I can honestly say that I did not prior to meeting my narcissist 12 years ago. And just a little bit about me, and I know some people have heard my story, but 12 years ago, I met a man that I thought I was madly in love with, only to find out that he was my narcissist. I ended up giving him my heart. I gave him just about, it felt like my soul, down to the point that I almost gave him my life. It was crazy because things that you start to go through as a woman, you always say, oh, I'll never do that, or that'll never be me. She can't be me. I don't understand why she's going through this, why she's doing that. But it's easy to say that when you're on the other side of not knowing. So going through it, I've learned to guard my words and not really not blame women, but judge women for what they go through, because each woman's journey is different and it's their journey. Going through my journey, I learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about the man that I thought that I was in love with. I learned a lot about the friends or the people that I call friends. You ever want to see who's in your corner and who really has your back? Go through something in life. I promise you, things are going to thin out. People are going to thin out. You're going to find out who's for you, who's against you. Whatever the case is, I'm a firm believer that God allows you to go through things for a reason. And he also puts people in your life for a reason and for a season. A lot of us get messed up with trying to keep seasonal people in our lives for a lifetime. I'm guilty of doing that. I was that person that knew my time was up in this relationship with my narcissist, but I kept making excuses. I would make reasons why he didn't mean to say what he said to me, or he didn't mean to push me up against the wall, or whatever the case was. It was always an excuse. Even down to the fact that I could say something and it would just totally set him off. And I could never understand why the little things that I would say would just make him so mad. But I had to realize the person and realized that being a narcissist, they realize what they do, but on a certain level, they really don't know what they're doing. And I know that kind of sounds crazy, but truth is the truth. Great man has the potential to be a good man, but I just feel like between mommy issues, daddy issues, or whatever the case was that he was going through, he kind of threw that energy off on me. I could never do anything right. I couldn't say anything right. I could go outside and say the sky was blue, and he would call me a lie. So after a while, you begin to believe this is the person that you are. This is the person that you're supposed to be. So many times they would tell you that you're no good, or you're not worth this, you're not worth that. And at some point in time, you start believing it because you're hearing it. Mind you, this is the person that you said you love. This is the person that said they love you. So why wouldn't I believe it? Why wouldn't you believe it? But what I want to do is break down some stuff tonight and just kind of walk through definitions of a narcissist, things narcissists do that you may think that you're in a narcissistic relationship but not sure, and you're kind of thinking maybe he's just mean. Just kind of break down some things and kind of share some things with you. I would love for y'all to interact. If you have any questions or anything, please, please, please just chime in and we'll just talk about it. What is a narcissist? People with narcissistic issues often have relationship difficulties because of problems related to self-preoccupation, need for admiration, and insensitivity to others. Basically, they know how to love, but because they've never really been loved or shown love, it's kind of hard for them to show it correctly to somebody else. And because of that, their relationships suffer. I don't care how hard I tried to love, how much money I spent, how many trips we went on, what I did, it seemed like it was never enough. You will constantly find yourself trying to move mountains for these people or for this particular person, and it's never going to be enough. You can never satisfy a narcissist. It seems like you can climb to the highest mountain, you can buy them the biggest house or whatever it is that they're asking for, but it's never going to be enough. And you can spend a lifetime trying to do just that. Let's see. Asking your narcissist why they speak to you the way they do and turn around and make it your fault. A lot of times with narcissists, it's your fault. They got to have somebody to blame. It can be a thing that it was his idea, but because I suggested it prior to him, he's upset now. So a lot of times dealing with the narcissist, you have to allow them to be the man or be the woman, because you have women that also have that narcissistic personality. But you have to allow them to feel like they're the man or they're the woman to kind of keep the peace. And you go with it for a little while, but I promise you at some point in time, you're really going to get tired of it. It comes a time that you get tired because you seem like you're always giving or you're always being sympathetic, but no one's ever being sympathetic with you. So you just kind of start dealing with it and hoping it gets better. You choose your words. You make sure you don't say the wrong thing or you don't have the wrong tone. You're constantly watching yourself and making sure that you're crossing every T and dotting every I. Don't forget, because they will remind you. I promise you they will remind you. We as the abused, I tell so many women, we need to change the way that we look at ourselves. Me growing up, I had both my parents in my home. So I didn't have any daddy issues. I didn't have any mother issues. I feel like I grew up in a very nice home environment. So how did I fall for a narcissist? Heaven only knows. But at some point in time, I began to ask myself those same questions, and I started questioning myself, and I started questioning things that I did. Was I good enough? Did my hair look right? My clothes? I noticed that the way that I dress, the way that I talk, the things that I used to do, the smile that I used to have on my face, it slowly started to go away. And when you sit back and they say hindsight is 2020, you can know exactly when your life changed and things happened. And it's like, okay, what did I do to deserve this? But I just want to tell someone that's watching this in that situation, it's nothing that you did. You just probably loved the wrong person, or you chose the wrong person, or you chose to love the wrong person. But it doesn't mean that you're less of a woman or you're less of a man. It just means simply what it means. You're with the wrong person. You can go out your way and do everything under the sun, and it will never be right or enough for a narcissistic person. I encourage you tonight to stop focusing on what they say that you are, or what they say that you can't be, or what they say that you'll never be, and start focusing on yourself. A lot of times we lose focus because we're so busy trying to make somebody else happy, or make sure they have what they need, or they're comfortable, whatever the case is, but you lose sight on yourself. So coming out of my situation, I just encourage you to pay more attention to yourself. Find the things that make you happy. Find those careers, a hobby, whatever you may do, things that you used to do that put a smile on your face. Find those things that made you happy and kind of revert back to those and jump back into your childhood and find that old person. You find that old Christina or that old Sheleta, and just find the things that used to make you happy. The biggest thing that I did, I was always seeking validation. Stop seeking validation from people. I don't care if it's your mother or your father. I don't care if it's a relationship that you're in. I don't even care if it's your children. Stop seeking validation. Go out here, do something for yourself, and stop caring who cares. Stop caring. It doesn't matter. This day in life, it seems like life is getting so short. You turn on the TV and somebody got married at 2 o'clock and they got killed at 6 o'clock. Life is short. Stop seeking validation from people who it really doesn't matter to. Let's see. There's a cycle. Because I've had people ask me, why did you stay so long? What was it about him that made you stay? And it's like it was a continuous cycle. It's like putting your hand on a stove. No one is going to burn you. And you have the scars. So you sit here and it starts to scab over and it's healing. And you're good. And you're moving on with life. All of a sudden, that person comes back. You start picking at the scab. They say, I love you. Or they say, I'm sorry. Or they may even pop up and just bring you a bouquet of flowers and some balloons, but you're still picking at the scab. It's never going to heal. You're never going to heal if you continue to pick with the scab. And that's pretty much the same thing in being in a narcissistic relationship. You can't heal from the person that damaged you. You can't heal from the person that hurt you. It's almost next to impossible to say, I can be with him and I can still heal. I'm going to make him love me. That's just not going to work. I promise you it's not going to work. I don't care how many backflips you turn. I don't care what you buy. I don't care how many meals you cook. They're never going to change. Nothing that you do is ever going to be good enough for a narcissist. And that's just the bottom line of it. What you also need to understand, it's not a quick fix. You can't walk into a room, flick the light switch, and decide to say, you know what? I'm done. I'm moving on. My life is better. I deserve better. It all sounds good. And that's your starting point for healing and moving on. But it's not going to be a quick fix. You didn't fall in love with that person overnight, and you're not going to stop loving that person overnight. You're going to have days that you just get up and you cry for no reason. You're going to have days that you get up and you laugh and you're fine and life is good. But it's going to be a continuous cycle until it's really out of your system. Dealing with a narcissist is hard. I used to compare my narcissist as a drug. I said I felt like I was addicted to this man. And that addiction was so strong that I found myself one day sitting in the living room convincing myself that death was easier or better than not being with him. Or the pain, I would convince myself, I'm happy. I know I'm happy. And there's a commercial on TV, and I love it to this day. I don't know the name, but it's a lady who comes in and she has a fan in front of her or a mask in front of her, and the mask is smiling. But behind that mask, she's broken. She's not smiling. She's not healing. And she's just damaged. But every time you see that lady, she's smiling because she has that mask. And that's what real pain feels like. You feel like you're constantly hiding behind a mask and just hoping nobody sees you or nobody says the wrong thing, and you just break down into crying and you just don't know what to do. That's what healing looks like. Healing isn't cute. It isn't cute. It isn't pretty, but it's healing and it's your process. I encourage you, if you're in that situation tonight, go through your process. Don't allow anyone to tell you, okay, you've been doing this long enough, or you've been crying over him long enough. It's time for you to get over it. You can't allow anyone to rush your process. Your process and your journey is exactly that. It's your process and it's your journey. So you take the time that you need. You're gonna go back. I don't think I've met a person yet that's left and said, I'm just done, and haven't dibbled and dabbled. You haven't taken phone calls, or you haven't taken the dates, or he hasn't slid through or come through your DM. So it's going to be a process, but you go through your process. Whatever your journey looks like, whatever your process looks like, I just encourage you to go through it. There's no easy way. There's no shortcut. There's no nothing. You just going to have to get deep down and dirty with it and go through it. Point blank, period. But I sit here today telling you that there is happiness on the other side. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will be happy. You will be healed, and you will be whole. A situation happened back here a few months ago, which is what pushed me into doing this podcast. There was a young girl who had fallen in love with another lady. And because of her pain overtook her, and she allowed it to take her life. But being that lady, or being that woman that has been in that girl's shoes, I understand. I understand what it took for that lady to sit there, or the young girl to sit there and say, you know what? I'm done with life. I'm done with this world. She doesn't want me. I can't do this pain anymore. That pain is serious. So before you start judging people and saying, well, oh, all she had to do was give it to God, or oh, all she had to do was just let it go. If it was that easy, I promise you, we all would have done it. We all would have done it and just been over, but it's not. But that situation happening, and knowing that that young girl felt like she had no other chance or option, that death was her only option, that makes me sad, because that's a female that we didn't reach. So I speak to women and I put myself out there, and I'm very transparent with what I've been through. I just don't believe God allowed me to go through what I went through for nothing. But I really hate the fact that that young girl felt like her life was over and she couldn't move on past that pain. So that's what I was meaning when I was telling y'all, don't allow someone to just kind of make you feel like it's time for you to get over it or it's time for you to move on. You go through your process. You work your steps. You do what you got to do. You lean on friends that will be there. You're going to lose friends. You're going to have friends that's tired of seeing you go through what you go through. But you're going to have those true people that's actually going to be there. But first and foremost, lean on God. Lean on God and cast your cares. Cast your cares and just let it go. I know it's easier said than done, but I promise you, as someone that has been there, if you just trust God and begin to just take your baby steps, take those little steps and celebrate those little awards, celebrate those little things that are happening. I went a full day and I didn't talk to him. Hey, congratulations, girl, we did it. I went a full week and I haven't talked to him. Way to go. You have to learn how to encourage yourself, because it's in those late in the midnight hours that God hasn't turned it around, that you are really and truly by yourself, that you're going to have to know how to encourage yourself, and you're going to have to know how to get a word through to God, because it ain't nobody but you and him. But I think I'm rambling. I think I got off topic. I want to close just by saying there's going to be a day that you're going to look back at all of this and you're going to laugh. And if you're really, really lucky, it's going to be one of them extraordinary days and you just wake up and you be like, you know what? I did it. I've done my process. I've gone through my pain and we did it. You're able to be able to look in the mirror again and be like, girl, we did it. And that's the day that you're really going to want to celebrate. But I encourage any young lady who's listening to this tonight, don't give up. Don't give up. Don't stop trusting God. And depend on the people that are in your circle. You're going to have those people. They're going to get sick of hearing you cry. They're going to get sick of hearing you go through. But you got those ones that are really just going to stick by you. Lean on them. Pull on them. And just know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. At the end of the tunnel. I found it. I found my rainbow. I found the light at the end of the tunnel. And life is great. Do I have bad days? Absolutely I do. Do I have days that I still think about him? Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir, I do. Will I go back? Can't go back. Can't go back. And I'm okay with it. I'm finally okay with it. My narcissist didn't win. He didn't take my life. He didn't take my happiness. And I'm slowly and surely getting my joy back. And for that, God, I thank you. But you lean on people that are in your lives. Trust God, my sister, and know that you are not in this alone and you can make it. I hope I have said something tonight that has made you think or allowed you to know that you are able to get out of your situation. Or if it's nothing else, just knowing that there's someone that's been through what you've been through and made it on the other side. Whatever the case is, wherever you came in tonight, whether it was just to see what was going on, whether you was coming to be nosy, welcome. But I thank you. Go through your journey. I love you. And if no one has told you today, Sheleta Renee loves you, but God loves you best. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.